Coming up on Chasing the Sun, Justin takes country music star Lee Brice out for some fun on a unique coastal dune lake.
What's up, Lee?
Hey man, how are you?
Justin Leake. Nice to meet you. So driving out here, I was pretty excited to meet Lee Brice. You know, I mean, I love his music and really look up to him as an artist.
Songs in the kitchen, playing on the radio.
And as soon as I met him, I knew why I liked his music so much. He's a family man like myself, and he loves to be efficient.
This part of the country has become like a second home and a very inspirational place for me.
Yeah, I woke up one day and it was everywhere. People talking all over the news.
Then Travis and Justin play with new motorized paddleboards. Yup, you heard me, motorized paddleboards.
This was the first time me and Travis got to experiment with these boards, and it really, I mean, they hit a home run with this.
Chasing the Sun is brought to you by Dulce Vida Tequila, Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler, Florida Fishing Products, Fish Better, Fish Florida, and by Z-Man Fishing Products, the science and art of fishing.
So this week on Chasing the Sun, we have a really unique episode. Travis isn't around, but you know what? I get to go fishing with country music star Lee Brice instead.
You always sounded like truck tires on a gravel road, laughing at the world, blasting my radio.
Lee Brice and his crew, they're all vacationing out here on the west end of the beach. And we want to get Lee on the water and show him some fishing action. And since they're all staying out here on the west end of the beach, we thought we'd show y'all a little different area. We're gonna go fishing on a coastal dune lake. You might ask, what's a coastal dune lake? Well, it's a lake that opens up to the Gulf of Mexico when the water level in the lake gets high enough from rainfall and stuff like that. And then you get some salt water mixing in from the Gulf, so it creates a brackish mix. So it's pretty neat ecosystem here. You got a mix of freshwater species up in the creeks like largemouth bass. But then out in the main part of the lake, it's a little saltier and you'll see, you know, your regular speckled trout and redfish and stuff like that. So I'm gonna take Lee Brice fishing over here at Lake Powell. It's one of the largest coastal dune lakes in the world. So driving out here, I was pretty excited to meet Lee Brice. You know, I mean, I love his music and really look up to him as an artist. What's up, Lee? And as soon as I met him, I knew why I liked his music so much. I mean, he's a real kind of guy. He writes his own music. You know, he's got a lot of good musicians that he works with, but you know, he's just, I mean, that's what makes country music so unique and cool is, you know, just how real it is. And I think that's what people like me can relate to is, you know, the stories they tell in their music. When I met him for the first time, I knew right then that he's the real deal.
Man, this is nice. Best thing that happened to me in my life. My kids, and now my little girl, is such a different thing, you know?
So that's your third?
It's my third, but she's my girl. And I got my two boys that I was totally cool, and I'm like, I got this handled.
Yeah.
And then she came along and I'm like, what do I do with my hand? I'm like, how does this work? You know?
He's a family man like myself, and he loves to be efficient. So when me and Lee first get on the boat, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to tell him a few stories, fishing stories, whatever, but I was actually just amazed at the stories he had about all his adventures he's had. You know, he travels all over the country.
I caught my first walleye, my first northern pike, and my first smallmouth in one day 2 weeks ago. I've been trying to fill up the new farm wall with some stuff anyway.
Okay. While he's out on tour, I mean, he is a serious hardcore outdoorsman. He is always looking for somewhere to get in the woods or on the water. So that was kind of shocking to me. I didn't know that about him, but he's the real deal. He's not just writing these songs about the outdoors and stuff like that. He lives it as well. The inlet that connects this dune lake to the Gulf is a very shallow, narrow stretch. So it's always nice to have somebody on the boat with you, like Lee, that can see those changes in the bottom and help me navigate through there.
We gotta go out to about over here and then flip it around.
Gotcha. So one thing that can be kind of difficult is how these dune lakes change. The inlet that connects this dune lake to the Gulf is a very shallow, narrow stretch. So it's always nice to have somebody on the boat with you, like Lee, that can see those changes in the bottom and help me navigate through there.
We gotta go out to about over here and then flip it around.
Gotcha. Yeah, don't hesitate to give me a direction. I'm going till you yell at me. All right, I think we're home free.
I'm down here, we're down here with some friends actually.
Yeah.
And we're doing some writing all week, okay? And these are some of my brothers, my best friends. And we spend, from the time we wake up, the time we go to bed, we'll take a break, go see the sunset, But we write songs that matter because I don't get time to write like I used to.
Yeah.
When I get home, I got 3 kids that I gotta give my time and my attention to because I'm gone the rest of the week. So I can't get home and then go to the studio or get home and go write songs.
Yeah.
I gotta get home and be home. So
that's right.
I set up a week like this so that I can dive in hard, let my brain really just go, and we'll be really picky about what we write and very intent on getting songs done, completed, recorded. So I brought in guitars and amps and studio equipment, and we've got 3 studios set up in a house to write all week long, and they will eventually be a big part. In fact, I wrote my song that's on the radio right now. It's called Rumor. I wrote it down here.
Are you serious?
Same trip 3 years ago.
There's a rumor going round about me and you, stirring up our little town the last week or 2.
It's always a really special time for me to get down here to this part of the country has become like a second home and a very inspirational place for me.
So looking at the weather when I was driving over here to come meet up with Lee, I knew we were going to have some challenges. Hey, it's summertime, it's the afternoon, and anybody that's been in Florida very long knows that we get a lot of afternoon thunderstorms. But I'm watching the radar, and I knew we were going to have a little window in front of that to try to get them out here and catch some fish. So when you get a chance to take Lee Bryce fishing, you can do everything you can, to put them on something and get out here and at least give it a shot. So that's exactly what we did. We jumped on the boat, made a quick ride around, and got a little fishing in. But of course, just as we're starting to kind of get settled in and get ready to start fishing, the weather had other plans for us.
Well, some days you can, some days you just can't.
We try to plan everything out. I got the tackle ready, got the boat, battery starters up, all this. Gonna take Lee Bryce fishing today. And then God says, no, I don't think y'all are.
But
Here comes the rain.
We made new friends.
That's right.
Got to talk about life a little bit. And I get to show y'all some cool stuff back at the house.
That's
too.
what I was gonna say. I'm excited to go back and see the studio, so.
I've been to y'all's work today, y'all come to mine.
Deal, let's go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those few times where I'm excited to get the boat out of the water because now we're gonna go over to Lee's house and see what him and his guys have been working on.
Some kind of creature was living in skateboard swamp. I had grown man shaking in their boobs. Yeah.
So these coastal dune lakes have some areas that are really shallow, lots of sandbars and stuff like that. So when you're in a motorboat, it can be kind of hard to navigate through there. That's where the paddleboard comes in. And that's one of my favorite things about the paddleboard is it enables you to access extremely shallow water. So all the advantages that I find in paddleboard fishing, you know, there's always been one drawback, and that is I find fish in these remote locations, and we typically are gonna have to mothership our paddleboards over there. And what I mean by that is we're gonna take a motorboat, load the paddleboards on, run across the bay somewhere, you know, and then get set up and go fish on the paddleboards. So this water's been coming in all night. So there'll be some fish out here around the fringes. Boat came up with a really cool solution to this, and it's by taking a paddleboard and putting an outboard motor on the paddleboard itself. All right, we got some oil in there, just put some gas in here. We're about ready to hit the water, but we're gonna make sure it cranks up first. Pull the choke out, got the kill switch on. There we go. So this was the first time me and Travis got to experiment with these boards, and it really, I mean, they hit a home run with this. I can now get on this paddleboard and run across the bay to where I want to fish, tilt the motor up, and then now all those advantages, stealth, you know, shallow water access, all those things, I still have that. So it's the best of both worlds with one paddleboard. So we still try to keep our setup on these paddleboards fairly simple without too much gear. You know, I still like that, you know, less is more mentality. Well, one neat thing that we can do is put an Engel cooler on the back of this board, and we use it as a seat while we're running the boat. It's also storage. If you want to use it for dry storage, you can put, you know, your wallet and cell phone in there, or you can use it as a cooler. Bring food and drink for a day on the water. So when the inlet opens up to the Gulf of Mexico, and now this coastal dune lake has free-flowing salt water in and out, the fish are able to do what I'm doing, which is go in and out. So this is the time where we get that salt water flowing in, and you also get some saltwater species working their way back up into the coastal dune lake. So I could tell that this new song that Lee and his crew had wrote the night before was still on his mind, because one of the first things he wanted to tell me about when we got talking about his music was this new song he thought he might call the Lizard Man.
So Sumter County is right next to Lee County, which is, I grew up on the line.
Okay.
It's right in the middle of the state. It's next to a swamp called Skateboard Swamp. There was a big legend back then about the Lizard Man.
The Lizard Man?
Yeah, you know, like Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah.
Or like that. Well, where I was from, and I mean, it was in our backyard, okay?
Yeah.
And there was people sending pictures of teeth marks ripping off bumpers of cars, and goats getting eaten up, white-tailed deer, and then seeing this big, tall, man-like thing, but it's like an alligator, lizard, whatever, big red eyes. And so I did a tribute to Charlie Daniels a while back, and I did a song called Woolly Swamp of his.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, I know that song.
And when I got out there, and I had so much fun doing it, and he reminds me so much of like where I'm from and, you know, his stories he tells.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? There ain't no way I'm doing another record without writing a song about the Lizard Man. I mean, he's right in my backyard, so I wrote it last night.
No
in
way.
the house. So when y'all come over, I gotta play it for you.
Oh my goodness,
really
I love
good.
it.
So I don't know what to call it, either the Lizard Man or call it, you know, the Battle of Lee County or something.
Yeah,
you know, or something.
I like that.
Sure.
I couldn't wait to get back to his place and hear this. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, this is one of those few times where I'm excited to get the boat out of the water, because now we're gonna go over to Lee's house and see what him and his guys have been working on. They set up the whole house like it's a recording studio. So when they write a song, it's not like they have to take it back to Nashville and you know, try to find a studio and all that to record it. I love that about him. They're trying to be real efficient here. So they have the whole house set up where when they write something cool like Lizard Man, they can actually record it right here.
The Lizard Man's like 9 feet tall,
walks on 2 legs, kind of looks like an alligator or some type of lizard, but he kind of half man, half green scales and like glowing red eyes, right? It's a story of me. I mean, it's been talked about for my whole life from where I'm from, and it happened to be in my like backyard where I hunted.
Yeah.
Where I lived is where the lizard man is from, Skateboard Swamp, and Lee County is right beside Sumter County, South Carolina. And so, you know, like I said, I did a Charlie Daniels song and I had so much fun. I said, man, I'm crazy if I don't write a song about the lizard man. I mean, I know everything about him, you know, so I sold them on it enough to where they'd give me a chance. And then this music fool over here, like, starts doing the nastiest guitar tone you've ever heard in your life. Just dirty, swampy. And so off we went. And so now we just finished up the lyric, and I haven't done a vocal on it or anything. I mean, so I literally might just try to just throw a scratch vocal on it now, so we'll have it. But yes, this track turned out so fun.
Yeah, I woke up one day and it was everywhere. People talking all over the news. Some kind of creature was living in Skateboard Swamp. I had a grown man shaking in the boots. Said he had big green scales and red glowing eyes and stood about 9 feet tall. Fella said he saw him crossing the road on 2 feet with a white tail in his jaws.
Sounds like he's just telling a story. And I mean, I was into it before I even heard the tune to it because the story was so good. And I think that's what, you know, makes him so successful writing these songs is, you know, it's already a good story. So then when he adds the music into it, it just makes it that much better.
You better be scared. This is the lizard man. Yeah.
That was good. Perfect. Hey.
Half the songs that we're going to play tonight are going to be songs that we wrote here.
Songs in the kitchen.
Chasing the Sun has been brought to you by Latitude Tournament Boats, Humminbird, simply, clearly, better. Pirates Cove Marina, you enjoy the Gulf, we'll take care of the rest. And by Sport Trail Trailers.
What an awesome time this was. I got to go hang out on the boat with Lee Bryce. I mean, for me, that was just like, you know, a dream come true. Yeah, I'd probably say for a guy that plays a guitar for a living, grabbing blue crab is probably not a real...
I'm not gonna grab it till I can see which way his claws are facing.
Yeah, your tour manager would probably not be happy with that. Sorry guys, I gotta take a few weeks off. Actually, we were fishing out here and I had a buddy, we were on the beach and he grabbed one and actually cut through his fingernail.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't.
And then when I thought it couldn't get any better, you know, we actually got to go to the house and hang out with them, have a little private jam session.
I'm telling you, son, you better run fast as you can. Ain't you ever heard of the lizard man? Run fast as you can. Ain't you ever heard of the lizard? You ain't gotta believe it. No, you don't want to.
And then later on, go see a private concert.
I think it's cool that we got, I know we're going to play, half the songs that we're going to play tonight are going to be songs that we wrote here, in the pool, in the house, right here, off of Wiggle Lane.
Songs in the kitchen, playing on the radio, coffee on the counter, bacon frying on the stove, Billy Graham on TV, Mom and Daddy kissing, songs in the kitchen.
So I never thought this many cool things could happen on this little coastal dune lake right here. You know, we got to go hang out with Lee Bryce and fish with him. We got to put the boat paddleboards in the water and ride around with a motor on the back of the paddleboard for the first time. The inlet, man, I mean, it played along with us, and it stayed open where we could take the paddleboards out into the Gulf. So just all in all, you know, we didn't fish as much as we normally would, but we really did a lot of cool things that I've not got to do before.